coach Ben Olsen here for you. Ben, back at home against a familiar foe this weekend, coming off an important road point. How's the team been preparing this week?
It's been a good week, and looking forward to going against Salt Lake, getting back at home in front of our fans. Hopefully we have a good turnout, and we can reward them for coming out with 3 points. Certainly looking for that first win, and but overall the week of preparation was pretty smooth.
Thanks for that. We'll start with Dustin. Dustin, go ahead.
Hey, Ben.
Dustin.
Just wanted to ask you, new signing Dwayne Holmes. What do you see from him? How do you see him fitting into the team, and just your expectations?
I see him limping around in a boot right now, which is not great. As you know, it's nice when you get a new signing that they jump in on the field, but we got to wait for his services. We'll see how long that is. But take that aside, he's a guy that we've been following for a bit. He's been on a lot of people's radars. He's been in with a couple stints with the national team, and obviously he's an American. So he's a guy that we're aware of, and he comes from a league that's, I think, a very difficult one to play in. It's highly competitive. It's fast. I think there's a lot of similarities to the championship, to the MLS, and looking forward to seeing what he brings to us, and what I imagine him helping us out is in that, whether it's in the central midfield, a little higher up in those tens, than in the 10 spots, or at times he can play wide. I know he's played a little bit of wing back, so he's very versatile, and the trick will be to find out where he's best for us. But it brings more competition in the attacking spot, which we need. And it's just nice to get some signings in, and there'll be more coming. But we're excited to have his services. He's a good kid. He's fit in already with the group. And now it's just about getting him healthy.
And just looking ahead, Real Salt Lake, seems like you guys have played them quite a bit recently, in the last couple of years. With Pablo and what they do, you feel comfortable in knowing what they do, and how does that affect your guys' preparation?
They're a little bit different than they have been, I think, over the last year and a half. Every off season, there's a lot of teams are in our boat where there's been changes, and they don't have that many, but they've had some subtractions. Some of the structural stuff that they're doing is that they've tweaked kind of who they are. They have a new goalkeeper and 1 or 2 new personnel on the field. So it's still, the same exercise for us of digging in and making sure we're clear and on who they are, and then we relay that information to our players in a pretty clear way that prepares them. But I know Pablo very well, as I've talked about every time we've played him, and his teams have real commitment, real bite, real moxie, and they like to play. And so, again, it's a team we're going to have to press at the right times and not get stretched, and kind of stick to a lot of some of the defensive principles that we lived with in Columbus. But we're looking to have a little bit more soccer to that game, and try to find that balance that I've been talking about over the last 2 weeks of who we are, and how do we find that balance of being at our best. And we're still figuring that out, and it's just another opportunity to grow and find that, get a little closer to finding that balance.
Thanks, Ben.
Herman, go ahead.
Hey, Ben, just wanted to ask you about 2 of your defenders. Franco got that knock last weekend, and just wanted updates on Eric's progress to get back on the pitch.
They're both coming along. I'll leave it at that.
And the second question would be, we know how good Real Salt Lake is, but given their poor form to start the season, and you're looking to build on last week's result, Is there a sense of urgency to get the 3 points this weekend to kind of start building momentum for your team?
Ramon, do you think there's a sense of urgency to win this game? Yeah, I would say so. I would say that's the same urgency as we had against Miami and Dallas. And, I'm not thrilled with our home form this year. Our players aren't thrilled with it. So there's urgency. There's going to be urgency every game, hopefully, for the rest of this year. And does it add a little bit more because of the situation we're in? Yeah, of course. But playing Salt Lake or playing Seattle, or I don't care who was coming in, the opponent doesn't change what we need to do. And it's a fine balance of talking about winning and results and versus kind of just growing right now and being process oriented and getting better and pushing these guys to be the best versions of who we are in this moment. And so we're trying to find that balance. But they're good. They're a real team. They're a real team. It's why they finished where they finished last year, and it's always a very difficult opponent. And we always have really, I think, fun matches. I think they're usually entertaining, and hopefully we can have an entertaining one and be on the right side of it.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Jorge, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
So, my question, you got a lot of players rotating in the winger spot, but how much longer before the team and the fans see possibly Exxon Arzu fill in?
Yeah, Exxon's been okay in preseason. He's a talented young kid that we believe could play some minutes at some point this year. But as far as Exxon being the magic bullet right now, I don't anticipate that. So but we're certainly open to it. I think we have a pretty good staff, and we're open-minded to anybody that's excelling and looking good at training, and we think can help us win games. So we'll see. We'll see. But he definitely has some qualities that we could use out there in some moments, but that's not enough. You have to, there's still a complete package that we're looking for. And I understand why people would, say, well, give him a chance. So I understand it, and maybe at some point he gets his look.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
After Andrew Tarpl's made the match performance against Columbus, how do you get him more vocal in the back? How do you shore up that back line through the growing pains of this transitioning new squad?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, from a vocal standpoint, he's back there. He's yelling. I can hear him. That part is, important, of course, in a goalkeeper. But I'm just happy that each game he's gotten better. And I anticipate him to stay at that level. This is Andrew's a very good goalkeeper. He's a starting goalkeeper in this league. We've had a luxury of 2 starting goalkeepers for last year, and I'm happy again. This is his opportunity, and I know he's going to take it. And I was happy for his performance and that he's improving. It's not necessarily. Up to him. The back line needs to step up. Everybody has to just be a little bit better. And I thought Columbus was a very good start in that way. I thought all the backs looked sharp. They were secure. They understood when to play and when to take our medicine and kind of go direct in a calculated way. And I think we had some success with that whole group, including Jack and Artie in that back six and Andrew. So that's something we need to build on. And I talked about the defensive group, the defensive effort, continuing with that and hanging our hat on that, but also getting improving some of the sustained possessions and getting more looks in front of goal. And that's the balance I continue to harp on.
Anything else?